welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cheyenne and my wife and I are on a journey to pay off debt while also saving for our future goals at the same time. So it's another day of Budgetmas and I wanted to come to you guys. I was gonna do this on my own and I was like, I might as well make a video about it in case other people don't know anything about it. So we're gonna talk about a bare bones budget or like an emergency budget, whatever you wanna call it. Just for this, I'm gonna call it a bare bones budget because that's what I'm most familiar with. You could also call it like I think the budget mom calls it a temporary budget. Whatever you wanna call it, it's basically when you take all of your bills and you're only paying for the necessities, the things that you need to pay every month no matter what. So this would be like your rent, your car payment, any debt payments. I consider those necessities because if you don't pay them, you're going to get behind. But what you don't include in a bare bones budget would be like subscriptions, personal money, family fun, entertainment, those things. So I have already written down our bills and I got these sheets, you already know, from the Budget Mom's free resource library. I always leave the link to her website in my description box because that is where I get most of my printables that I started my journey with. So if you are starting your journey, that is the best place to go because all of it is free. You just sign up with your email and then she sends them to you and you get a password to her free resource library. And there's literally so much in there, so much goodness in there. So that is where I got these sheets from. I downloaded them onto my iPad and then I printed them. So I wrote down all of our bills. And to make a bare bones budget, this is the first step, getting the sheet, or you can do this on a piece of paper if you want, but you write down all of your bills. And I have subscriptions in here. I have everything that is auto drafted out of our account on here. And then what you can also do is write down your variable expenses down here. So you can write like groceries, gas, household health. Those are some of mine. You write those down and then you write the current amount you are paying for the month. And then what I'm gonna do with you guys is go through and figure this part out. All of this over here, that's what we're gonna talk about today. So the reason why, if you're wondering why I want to come up with our bare bones budget, I do this every year just because you never know what the year is going to bring. Now you would need a bare bones budget or a temporary budget, like one of you lost your job, you get a pay cut, you want to do a no spend month, you want to attack your goals, so you're goal focused. You would use a temporary budget or a bare bones budget to reach your goals quicker. So you're cutting out all the unnecessary stuff. So that is when you would use that. But I always like to do it just to see what are we spending a month that we don't necessarily have to. So like if I'm feeling like our subscriptions are getting high, I'll do this and see, could I lower it? Could I get rid of it? Just to see where we're at in a month. So the first bill we have is rent and water. Now you go over to the right and it says keep, cut, or lower. Now I don't know about you, but it's really hard to cut or lower your rent. Like it's set, you can't really do anything about it. So obviously rent would be a keep. So I'm just gonna leave this blank because it's not changing. Now Xfinity. Xfinity is our Wi-Fi and we just pay for Wi-Fi. We don't have cable. We don't have a house phone. It's just cable. I mean, it's just internet. So with this, I wouldn't want to cut it because this day and age you need Wi-Fi, but I could lower it if I wanted to. Now our bill used to be $100 and I think our actual bill is $130, but they're charging us like $20 for something this month. But typically our bill is up to $132 now. But what I could do is I could lower our speed back to the bill being 190 cents. Sorry, I zoomed you guys in now that you can actually see. So what I did was lower this to 190. If I had to go onto a bare bones budget, I could lower my Wi-Fi. Now, debt payments, it's kind of hard to lower those because the minimum payment is the minimum payment. Now, if I were making a snowball payment, I could lower that because that's not the minimum payment. So credit one, we're gonna keep. Daycare, we have to keep. Now, daycare is one of those things that you could lower. Like, could you not send your child as many days as they go? We can't really do that I think our daycare, it literally only changes like $10 if you take a day away, so it's not really worth it. So let me go to one that I could cut. Now, this one, Premiere. Premiere Pro is what I use to edit my videos with. Now, I accidentally signed up for a annual monthly subscription, so I would have to pay like $60 to cancel this because you have to pay for the rest of the year, but I could cancel it if I wanted to. So if I wanted to cut it, I would say cut, if my pen would work, cut, and then my new bill would be 0, and I'd be saving $20.99. And for the Wi-Fi, if I took 157 minus 190, I'd be saving $56.32. So that's how this sheet works. You just go through and you mark down the ones you can keep or the ones you're going to keep. Like the Lemonade is our renter's insurance. We have to have renter's insurance to live here. In the development, you have to have renter's insurance. It's not like we just got it just to feel secure. We have to have it. So I have to keep that. But then you go down to electric. Now electric, we could lower that. And I think I looked into getting the energy save one where they charge you the same amount every month. And then if you have an overage at the end of the month, you have to pay, or if you're under, you get money back. Those always scare me because I'm always afraid I'm going to get a huge bill at the end of the year. So I've never done it. But if we wanted to keep our bill low, you can always lower your electric bill by using less or using the energy saving if your electric company offers that. So I looked into it and it was $175, I believe. So I could be saving $25 a month, but I'm just terrified that I would get a huge bill at the end of the month. So I've never done it. So the reason why I come up with these is because I always want to know if we're spending too much and could we, what it would look like if we were to lower some things. Plus, your job is never secure. You never know what might happen. So if we needed to only live on one income, could we do it? So Netflix, I would of course cut that. That is not a necessity in any sense. So the new amount would be 0, and I would be saving $16.32. WellSpan, that is a medical bill, that is debt, so I consider that keeping. Same with my student loans and Ty's credit card. Apple Fitness, I would cut. So I would be saving $10.59. Hulu, I would also cut. I'd be saving $8.47. That is a loan that I have to pay. Now, car insurance. Car insurance is something that you could lower if you looked into it, try to find a cheaper company to go with. So I could lower that one. Not sure what I could lower it to because I didn't go shopping around, but car insurance is one that you could lower if you wanted to. Credit One, that is another debt. Can't change that. Could cut Discovery Plus. HBO Max, we could cut. Life insurance. Now, there are some on here that you have to decide what is important to you. Now, some people may keep their investments, whereas some may get rid of them. Like if you're contributing to a 529 or a Roth IRA, you have to decide whether that is part of your bare bones budget. Now, for me, State Farm is my life insurance policy, and that is very important to me. So I would keep life insurance. If I were on a bare bones budget, I would still keep it. Now, Disney, I would of course cut. And you have to decide for your family if you would want to, maybe you cut everything but Netflix or everything but Disney Plus and just keep one. If that's what you want to do for your family, then I say do it. I get rid of all subscriptions when I'm making a bare bones budget. Ty's car payment would be a keep. Amazon Prime would be cut. So we would be saving $15 there. Ty's phone bill, I think she's on the lowest plan. I don't even know if she has unlimited everything. She might, but I could possibly lower it, but because she's paying for a cell phone, I can't cut it. So I would mark that as a keep. iCloud storage. Now this, I know I just said I get rid of all subscriptions, but this one I would mark as lower. and the new bill amount would be $299. Because for me, all of the memories of my son and my wife and family and friends that I have in my phone is worth that little bit of money. I have thousands of pictures on my phone, and I'm just not willing to get rid of them because I have, you know what I mean, because of my budget. So I would consider that a bill that I would not completely cut. I could get rid of it. I mean, I could cut it lower, but I couldn't completely get rid of it. Now, Exeter is my car payment, so I'd get rid of, I'd keep that. Wish I could get rid of that, but I keep that. Canva, I would cut. And Linktree, I would cut, because those are just subscriptions for my social media stuff. Paramount, I would cut. Mint Mobile, I could lower if I wanted to. I think I could get it down to $90. So 132 minus 90, I'd be saving $42. Now that's every 3 months, but same thing. Keep Apple, because that is a debt payment. And I would keep Ty's life insurance as well. So that is how you fill these forms out. And I just want to go through and add up the amount that I would save getting rid of and lowering everything. So that is the amount that I would save by lowering and cutting things out of my budget. Now, I don't have written down here my groceries and stuff, but you would also want to do that and figure out the numbers that work for you, because those are necessities. You do need groceries, but you don't need personal money. You do need gas, but you don't need to spend as much on gas. Maybe you could lower gas. Now for us, I could lower my gas amount because I have one case that I drive to that is 45 minutes away. And if we were in a situation where I needed to lower our expenses, I could only go to the case that is like 15 minutes away from my house versus the one that's 45. If I had to, that is an option for me. Some people, you can't change the location of your job. I travel to work, so I could change which clients I go to and which ones I don't. Things like household and health expenses, you're always gonna have to buy toilet paper, paper products, deodorant. You're always gonna have to buy that stuff, but you can lower how much you're spending on it. You can get a cheaper brand. You can just not stock up. If you're like one of the people that likes to stock up on things, you would just not spend it on that month. So I hope I made sense talking about everything that I talked about. But like I said, not everybody knows about a bare bones budget, but I think everybody should, because you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when something is going to happen where it's nice to just already have these sheets made up so that if something happens and you go into crisis mode and you need to cut some things, you already know what you want and are willing to cut. So I hope this video was helpful. I know it's not, again, I'm kind of coming up with random ideas for Budgetmas, just things that are on my brain that I want to talk about. That's what I'm using Budgetmas as, just to get these ideas out of my head. And I was already going to be making my bare bones budget, so I just decided to bring you guys along with me. So I hope you guys are all doing amazing. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Please feel free to leave any comments down below, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye.